I'm running on alcohol and just anger right now.
Alcohol and anger. AA. I don't know what you're talking about, by the way, because we both just lost $8 million today.
We making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy.
Okay, let's get right into it. What do we let's start with the cheers. I drank all my
Yeah.
beers. All I have left is Corona, which that's for parties
Uh,
only and friends.
is that why you put it in a glass so you didn't have to admit to anybody? Or
Yeah,
no, that's liquor.
this is my Corona in a glass.
That's
Oh,
disappointing. I have
it's-
some kind of bourbon that I had a house party. Like I think it was a Super Bowl party. I think everyone brought me like 15 bottles of bourbon. So I think this is like number 11 I've gone through since then.
So instead of like a Macallan 12, it's a Justin Young 11. So cheers to that.
It's a Scotch from Kentucky, basically. That's same thing.
Yeah, Southern Scotch. All right, I ruined my Macallan 15 with a few ice cubes just for you, so you could be in a salty mood as we start. I know the Broncos already put you in that mood with their 70-20 thrashing, but
We put up 20 points. That's pretty good.
that's true. That's true. That's what you do that all season, and you'll lose by one or win by one all season long.
Yeah. It's not with our defense. I'm very upset right now. But either way, yeah, it's been a fun day already. I've lost so much. I'm not down too bad, but like I'm down probably like 2 or 3 units in football. Uh, this was supposed to be a stress-free day off, so I could watch football and do this podcast, and it hasn't really gone the way I hoped for. I woke
Dude,
up at 4:30 this morning and just couldn't go back to bed. So I'm running
uh,
on alcohol and just anger right now.
alcohol and anger. AA. I don't know what you're talking about, by the way, because we both just lost $8 million today because we
That's
are
true. Yeah.
out of the Circa Sports Survivor. 8 million guaranteed. I had Jacksonville. I had Baltimore. I had Dallas. They all lost. You had
Somehow,
how many
yeah.
entries left?
Well, I started. Well left. I was down to my final two, and then two extra in that extra pool. Mark Grigorich, for those who don't know, fantastic man. But yeah, I went all in on Jacksonville, despite my brother trying to talk me out of one of the entries, putting on Seattle. And I'm sure he won't bring up the fact that he wanted Seattle for one of them, and I said, no, I don't trust Seattle because I like Andy Dalton.
Right.
And
A brother would never bring that up.
oh,
He's
not
too
an older
classy for
brother.
that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I he'll he's a very much like myself, a little sometimes passive aggressive, you know. So like he's like, "Oh, do whatever you want to do," and then when you do what you want to do, he's like, "No, that was wrong. That was absolutely incorrect." So
That was fine. It was fine,
yeah,
Justin. It's fine. It's
no, it's
fine.
fine. I
Yeah,
won't
we're
be
good.
upset. But yeah, that's where we are right now. But it's all right. I do have a good bit of money on on the Steelers between 3 and 3.5 tonight. So close game would be nice.
Okay, yeah. And for
And
those that don't know, we're recording this on Sunday, September
oh yeah,
24th, when the
sure.
Raiders are probably about to beat the Steelers for by 4 points.
Yeah, I think right now the score is 7-7. But it won't get me even for the day, especially with the Circa
You,
Survivor losses.
you
But
can't win 8
it'll
million
make me
today?
happy. Well, I I cannot no, but like
Okay.
yeah, I'm. But that's okay. You know, football Sundays. That's why we play.
Okay, speaking of, I want to ask you a question, and this is going to segue into the first part of what I want to talk about today. I'm going to give you a list of names, and I want you to tell me what they have in common. Okay?
Fantastic. All right.
All right. So let me get the names up. We're going to start with his name is Gary Garrison. You know the name?
No.
He's a Los Angeles Charger. I'll give you another one.
Okay.
Eddie George.
I know that one.
Okay. All right. Keep the wheels turning. This is going to help you
Okay.
being a Bronco fan. Steve Atwater.
Obviously.
Okay. Ken Houston.
I do not. I know that one as well.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. These are all Hall of Famers. Or I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know the first one, but yeah, the last three I'm
Okay.
I'm okay with. All right.
Leonard Fournette.
Okay.
All right, do you have a guess on what they all have in common other than being professional football players?
I first thought was for the guys I know. I mean, they're all from Power Five. I'm trying to think if they all won a national. No, Steve Atwater definitely did not. Maybe first round picks. No, that doesn't sound right either. No.
All right, I'm going to give you 3 more hints.
Good. I think I might need them.
Okay. Dan Deerdoff.
Okay. Also know him.
Okay. Ed Too Tall Jones.
I also
of
know
the
him.
Dallas
Yeah,
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah.
And when I said 3, I actually meant 2. So that's all the hints you get. And now,
Okay.
guess.
They are still all in the Hall of Fame, but you already told me that, so that doesn't help me at all. Man.
You know the game we play, the poker game we play.
Yeah, for sure. So do I just get to say, oh, they all play poker?
No, that's not it. But you're going to really like this because I don't know which way I go with this. I'm just gonna start pulling them out. Here's Leonard Fournette.
Oh,
hold on.
Do 7. Oh my gosh, for 72. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't catch on.
Here's Too Tall Jones.
Yes. I have a Steve Atwater. I should have get it on my closet right now. But
yeah, that was. Anyway, I bought all these jerseys. I got them on eBay. I think I got 9 or 10 jerseys, some duplicates. I found the most famous players that have worn the number 72 or 27. And the next Sunday that we play poker, I'm going to bring them all in. And anyone who decides to put one on is going to get an extra 100 on the 7 deuce from everyone.
Oh, wow.
So if you're wearing the jersey, you get an extra 100 from everyone. You choose not to wear it. You're just too rich.
The normal amount.
Yeah, you'll get 200 a man, 400 from the last guy to fold. But you put on one of these.
Did you get varying sizes, I hope?
I did.
Or is the shield just going to go swimming in an extra large?
Yeah, I got a 1 double XL for me.
For you.
I got a medium, I got a large, I got another large. I think I got mostly mediums and larges, a couple XL, a couple double XL. I just, some people are just going to have to look funny in them. They can drape them over their shoulder if they don't fit. They can wear them like a scarf like the Euros do. They won't get a read on you, but you'll get an extra 100 if you win with the 7 deuce. And
that's a fantastic idea. That's so good.
I thought you'd like that.
No, I do. As many jerseys as I have at home. Yeah, because I know we talked about maybe just everyone kind of bring their own jersey, and that's their lucky number for the day. And if they win, they get paid with it. But too many people would find the Larry Fitzgeralds of the world and come up with 11.
That's what I was thinking. Pocket pairs, just they're gonna. Yeah. You gotta. The sentiment of the idea, but like no exploits.
Right, yeah. I mean, we would accept like a Wes Welker or like a 83 or something like that, maybe, or Elvis Dumerville with 92. Like that'd be okay too. But yeah, for sure. Like I love it as long as it's a trash number and it's a player you like. You're welcome to bring in your own jersey as well. I think that's good.
I think it's great.
Yeah. So yeah, like that should be an option as well. So if you don't want to wear one of Art's eBay jerseys, you can just get your own. But as long as it's a DeMarcus Ware, a 94, maybe, like some
that's
some kind of really trash hand. 94 is not, well, for you it is, I guess.
If you compare it to 72, I mean, you're a couple rungs up on each.
But I still think it's fine. I mean, if they have a genuine tie to like DeMarcus Ware,
Yeah.
I'm making shit up. I don't know. No, this is a great idea. Let's absolutely do it. I won't be here next Sunday, but the next Sunday, well, actually, you guys should still do it. But like,
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. I just I was gonna do it this Sunday, but like I didn't want to play. You don't want to play. It doesn't
no,
matter. The game goes on. It rolls on, and
yeah,
the
and the game
main
still went today, and it was it's quite here, quite
yeah
well, I think.
yeah I think they're still playing down there.
Yeah, they are.
But no, yeah, the point of that was just like I think that's a really fun idea to bring to a game. I think people are gonna love it. I know I'm gonna love it. Don't know who any of those guys are, so I'm not embarrassed that I mean, I would have been a little embarrassed if you were just like, "Oh yeah, all 27s and 72s." Duh. But
I,
I'm kind of happy
I
the way that it went.
I'm a little disappointed I didn't get that right away. Not right away, but like after the extra hints.
Yeah,
Um,
I did all the one of them each first. I can't remember if I did the 72s first or the 27s first. I think I did the 27s first. But I tried to keep it on the same digit so you might figure it out. But it's tough because some players switch teams, they change numbers. I don't know. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. The only player on that entire list I ever heard of was Leonard Fournette. So,
that's
but
nice. But at the same point, though, like you don't have to wear the jersey if you don't want the extra 100. If you're just that rich and you want to value a little more money or less money and less
fashion over
fun.
money.
Oh, fashion, yeah. There's a few of our players that like to stick to the same sweater, the same button up or whatever, no matter what no matter what the fun is.
Are there?
Newport John, I know. I'm pretty sure Newport John was bought a shirt from another really good friend of ours, Ron Corey, and he looked at it, put it right back in the bag, and I'm fairly certain it's never gotten outside that bag before.
You know what? I have a photo of him. He was wearing his there's no football player apparently that wore the number cashmere red, but he was wearing his cashmere red, and I remember him lifting it up, and he had the Ron shirt underneath that Ron had bought him,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and I think there's photo evidence. If I can find it, I will. I don't know if I can have the editing prowess to stick it into this video, but if by some magic I can poof it into here, you will have all seen it. If not, just use your imagination. Red cashmere, crazy shirt underneath.
And John is one of our favorite players that plays our game. He invented a telescope in 1642,
He did.
something like that. I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly the year, but he invented it, and then he sold the idea, and then he bought the idea back, and he sold it again. I'm pretty sure that's what he did.
That's right. If you follow our newsletter on table1.vegas, you scroll to the bottom, you subscribe. There is an article there where I did a profile on John Diebel, where it said, I think the headline was "Sold the same business twice," and good headline. It actually has, I think it has the most like click through rate of anyone that I've sent out so far, which is pretty crazy because that's the only like player profile I've done. We were gonna do like we still are, but a Legends of the Felt series with all these different players that we've played with that are legends of the Felt. All the different people you would have known and people you wouldn't have heard of. John probably being one you've never heard of unless you've studied the telescope very, very intently. But no, yeah, we his profile was very entertaining to a lot of people. So go ahead and check that out and subscribe to that newsletter. And you also get the hand of the week from Table One, which we send out. It's the hand of the week, but we send it out about every 12 days.
Those are fantastic reads, by the way. That's honestly my favorite thing that we have going right now. The hand of weeks are fantastic.
The hand of the week, but it's like a gambler's week, 11 to 13 days.
We run a little slow.
You're supposed to settle up on Mondays with your bookie, but it's a gambler's week. Sometimes it takes a Thursday night after the game. We win, we settle, that type of thing.
Right. Depends if you have action on Monday or not, or Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. There's some lenience there.
But like to your point though, like honestly, probably a top 3 thing of why I like poker so much is some of the personalities we get to like meet. every walk of life, every level of business, every intelligence level, every political view. It is so fun to like just meet everybody and really get exposed to the complete gambit of of people.
Yeah, what's one of the, I don't know, I don't want to put you on the spot, but one of the most interesting in that range types of people that you've ever gotten the pleasure to sit down and play cards with?
Wow. I mean, off the top of my head, and I don't know if we touched on this on our first podcast or not, but like Michael Phelps on that tournament we met, like he has just always been number one in my heart as far as a genuine awesome dude that loves poker and plays it the fun way, and also just happens to be, number one in the world in the history of swimming ever, and early smell swimming. And to me, like that's the one I go to when my relatives.
Wait. At least male swimming? Is there a female
Well,
swimmer that is faster than him?
I didn't want to speak out of turn. There very well might be. I'm not very well versed on female swimming, but I don't know. Is Ledecky like she
I'm looking her up
creeping up
right now.
on Phelps?
How do you
Yeah,
spell
like
her
I'm
name?
pretty sure.
To put you on the spot. I know I have a very
Wow.
firm no public math policy. I'm starting to think a no public spelling is probably a good idea too. Luckily,
Yeah,
Google
I mean,
autocomplete has finished it for me. She has, she only has seven
oh,
Olympic gold
that's
medals.
nothing.
Seven
She's
Olympic gold
trash. She should
medals.
quit. Yeah.
Yeah, but she might be racing against some guys now. I don't know. You know how that goes.
But either way, I as far as like I wouldn't say a hero, but like someone that like I watched so much and then got to play with and was like in awe of. Like he's kind of up there. I did get a chance to play with Todd Phillips, who's directed such movies as Road Trip uh, and The Hangover. He was I wouldn't say he's fun to play with, but he was super fun to meet. um, but like just away from the celebrity side of it, like people, like I can name names that no one's gonna know, but like just super intelligent people. Ron Corey, Wayne Boych, like these kind of guys have lived a life, and they would sit down and play with us and play with like a 25-year-old like myself and share their stories and their experiences with me, which honestly kind of helped. I wouldn't say raise me, but helped me become a better adult. Yeah, I've definitely played with Wayne Boych 18 years ago. I know you probably played with him like probably 13 years ago, 15.
I have
But
both him and his wife. Yeah, great people and great competition at the poker table. Like
yeah,
just I like to say poker is the great equalizer because you never know who you're going to run into. I've played with, in the same tournament you played with, Michael Phelps. We both played with Mr. Beast, I believe, for a
oh,
short
that's right.
time.
Yeah, yes.
We played with um, A-Rod, not Aaron Rodgers, but the baseball one.
Oh, I haven't played with Alex Rodriguez, but
Oh,
like
really?
that's a nice.
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
played with him twice, but it's, I don't know. This is like one of my, I don't know if it's a framework, but it's like one of my mantras. It's like never meet your heroes, because I played with A-Rod, I played with Mr. Beast, I've played with Brad Garrett, I've played with Don
Mm.
Cheadle, and nothing against any of these guys. Love their content and their movies and accolades in sports, but man, I have played with more entertaining walls of paint drying than these people. Like they just don't say anything. It's like, man, how many takes did that movie take? Because I don't know. Props to the writers. I know writers aren't. Are they still on
Well,
strike? But
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. They're still meeting, but yeah, they are. But
Okay.
I will say, like, there's a level of confidence. Like, you get me at a poker table, I'm very like talkative, verbose, or whatever. But like, if you get me out to a day club, I'm going to sit in the corner. I'm going to put on 4 layers of clothes, and I won't talk to anybody as well. I think there's an intimidation factor that probably shouldn't be had, especially at private games. But like somewhat of a intimidation factor of like kind of being out of your element. Um, And they probably feel it a bit as well. Like, I
I
mean,
get that.
that's
Yeah, you're the best at your craft in what you do that everybody sees, and then all of a sudden you're somewhere where you're, basically that you're coming in as the underdog. So you're like all your energy is focused on not looking stupid. So I do get some of that. That makes actually a lot of sense
yeah,
on why maybe some of the charisma doesn't pop through that normally might pop through for these guys.
yeah. I think like a lot of the guys we're talking about are just kind of super alphas in their field, and you kind of take the field away from them, and they kind of feel like they don't have any support. And one guy I did forget, and like I do want to mention his name because he's literally since I've been 10 years old a favorite of mine is Norm Macdonald. I love
Wow.
Norm Macdonald so much. R.I.P. Uh, but he was at my first ever WSOP main event table.
Wow.
Was fortunate enough to meet him 2 more times in my life. Got to play with him on Poker Go, and he could not have been any nicer than any celebrity I've ever even come close to like talking to. He took time
Really?
out of his day. Yeah. So the first time after the World Series, I was geeking out in front of Brent Hanks, who helps out with Poker Go, and Norm Macdonald's producer overheard, or not producer, manager overheard me just like spewing nothing but compliments. And she came over to me. He's like, "Do you want to meet him?" And I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
that I would love to, but like that seems I don't want to like overstep anything. Like, no." She's like, "No, no, you're meeting him right now." And she like drugged me over to meet him, and we talked for it's probably only 15 minutes, but
Wow.
he asked questions about me, like he made jokes. I attempted to make a joke in front of Norm Macdonald, and he laughed. Whether it was pity laugh or a real laugh, I don't know. But I, like it was a real conversation. Is all I'm trying to say. There was nothing else he had to do. He wasn't nervous about playing poker that day. Like he was actually interested of what I was saying, and like it's one of the better meeting your like heroes moments I've ever had in my life. Like I will
Yeah,
say.
that completely busts my experience, but like after having just heard your take on it, like a big part of my mental framework is strong opinions loosely held, and like I could sway easily on like some of these people just like breaking that frame in terms of like, yeah, that experience is really incredible. Did Do you remember anything you had that experience with them, and you said you had another one?
Yeah, it was another Poker Go game that I got to play with them. And to your point though, once the cameras were rolling on Poker Go, very very quiet, very timid, very like soft spoken. And I mean, soft spoken part's not new for Norm Macdonald. I'm sure you've seen some of the interviews he's done on whatever Conan, all the way back through like you know David Letterman. But like he's very like monotone, maintained, and just super dry comedy. But like even on the Poker Go cameras, he was pretty reserved. To your point, like, but I also think it was him trying to concentrate and be up to the par of what good poker is supposed to look like. I guess.
It's gotta be hard to be on all the time, especially when like you're on is like 500% of anyone else is on. Like you're expecting something, and you get like a decent above average human, and you're just like, hey, make me laugh, funny man.
Yeah,
Like, where
exactly. I
are
mean,
you at?
like I can't imagine how many times he's like in an elevator and a stranger just recognizes him and is like, "Tell me a knock joke." It's like, oh, come on.
You just
I
better
mean,
better chance of just tickling the guy to make him
yeah.
laugh.
But at the same point, I'm sure as poker players, or probably not you and I, but like more famous poker players, we get stopped in a restaurant or a bar or just walking around, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to hear this 1-2 like hand history of mine to tell me if I played it right?" And they tell you what the river is before they tell you what the flop is, and like all that stuff. And
Sure.
like it's kind of the same thing where you're just like kind of, I wouldn't say over it, but like kind of disinterested right away, like because it's not, I don't know, not your expertise, I guess, not your I don't know, doesn't get your blood hopping.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like telling a chess grandmaster about like how you played a
Exactly.
game, right? Like you
Yeah.
just don't want to hear it at some point when you're when you're a Phil Ivey of the world, you don't want to hear somebody's bad beat story. I think there was even
Yeah.
a funny like bit that Norm Macdonald did with someone else, or not Norm Macdonald, sorry, Norman Chad. Not to put you guys in the same hemisphere,
Not the same.
but you have the same first name. But
Norman.
about the bad beat stories and like pay me $5 to listen to them. Do you remember that back in the
Oh
day
yeah,
on
like
the World
yeah,
Series? They set up like a
yeah.
booth and they were like, yeah, tell me your bad beat story and I'll I'll listen to it for $5 or $10 or whatever. You have 30 seconds. Go.
And it got a lot of coverage on ESPN as well as should, because I'm sure for $5, I'm sure they probably had a line of people that couldn't wait to tell them what was going on
Oh yeah, yeah. That was
their super
definitely
dramatic hand where they finally waited for two jacks and ran into Ace King and lost the flip.
yep. Pocket jacks. 3 ways to play them, and they're all
Uh,
wrong.
they're all wrong. Yes.
uh,
For me, it's more like there's 3 ways to play 4 deuce suited, and they're all wrong for me.
they're all right.
Because yeah, well,
One of the
like
ways is wrong, which is folding. What are
yeah,
the other
like I'm not
ways?
folding. That's maybe why I'm losing. I don't know.
No, you're not losing. Not with that hand. Maybe with good hands. Oh, I was going to talk to you about this. Have you heard of this cloudpokernight.com?
You know I haven't. I'm a boomer.
Yeah, it's on the internet, but you've heard of poker and you know about clouds and you know what night is.
Like KNIGHT. Like
Yeah, like Golden Knights, Vegas Golden Knights.
yeah,
Go
all right, yeah,
Knights, go. No,
yeah. They have
like a regular
oh,
night, cloud poker night. No, it's a great idea. I actually heard about it on another podcast, uh, but that's beside the point. It's just a cool idea. If you go on your computer now to cloudpokernight.com, you'll see it. So the premise is, first of all, their main like headline is really good for like selling people. It says poker is the new sport for business minds. And then the subtitle, golf is yesterday's news. Just like that, first of all, that's going to sell subscriptions or whatever the hell they're after. But no, what they do is they probably started building this during COVID because this would like have crushed during COVID if it was around. It's like there's this cute dealer, there's a camera on her, okay, and there's a little camera. I think there's a microphone where she can talk. I don't know. I haven't used it, but but you invite people in like it's a 6 to 7 or 8 person Zoom call. You bring them in.
mm-hmm.
She actually deals out the hands to you on like a RFID table,
Okay.
and you're the only one who can see your hand on the software. And
I
then
like
after that, everything is digital. So you click like I want to raise, and then like they just track it for you. Uh, and then she's got the actual card she puts out like on the flop. There's a little camera on them. They do turn a river, and then you can do like a tournament. I don't know if they do cash games. I think it's just tournaments. But the idea, I think this could actually go viral. Like, because a lot of times you do want to make networking connections with people that work at your office or whatever, other people in similar places. And poker is a great way to do that. And this is like the digital way to get people together from across the country. Uh, yeah, I don't know if it's going to take off, but like I think it's a bold idea, I'd like to see where it goes.
Uh, hey, let me just say, it sounds amazing. On the surface, I think it's great. Just off the top of my head, I have like 2 small problems with it. Uh, the main one, as far as like being with your friends on a Zoom call, sometimes it's hard when there's 8 people at a table or 8 people on a Zoom call. You start talking over each other a little bit, and like you can't really have conversations with like individual people. It's either like you're talking and everyone's listening, or kind of vice versa. Where like at a live poker table, you can actually turn to your partner left or right and like actually have a separate like conversation that is probably more meaningful. Uh,
You might be 100% right about that because a lot of the networking and like in between stuff happens between the lines. You're some two people are in like a big hand, and you're talking to your neighbor. You're like, hey, Mr. Beast, want to put me in your next video? Or not quite to that extent,
Yeah.
but yeah, no,
Yeah. And if you're
you're
on like a
100%
Zoom
right.
call with them, you just have to be like, Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast, Mr.
Hey,
Beast.
hey.
Hey, look at me. My turn. Okay. Uh, and the other one, like I think this one's like subsiding quite a bit, like especially if you're doing this more for like contacts and fun, which is what it should be used for, is like the trust that like the software is correct and no one's cheating and things like that. But like I think that should be quite secondary if this app or this idea is being used for what it should be used for, which is to just have fun with your friends.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I guess I'm just clicking through their website now. This is like I looked at it a little bit, and I think they thought of some of this stuff, because I'm clicking through the stuff, and it's like have a sidebar conversation at the table, and you can like click the person
Oh,
and be like, I want to talk to just you right now while we're not in this hand. Or
oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, or you can make someone's screen bigger to see like what they look like when they look at their cards, to see
Yeah.
if they're really excited or whatever.
Well, there should be a camera below the table.
Giggity. Okay, anyway, I thought that was kind of a cool idea. I hope they do well. Maybe when the Table One pod gets huge, we can have some sort of a tournament on here, and get our fans in the mix that can't afford to play with us.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I really do. Like, even if on the surface, whatever. It's gonna like complete the goals that it's meant to complete. I don't know. Like getting people together to play poker is always a good idea.
It's like a digital cocktail party, right? Like
Right.
you get your buddies together, or I mean, some people. The thing I love about poker, especially if you're not a professional poker player, um, is you're going to learn so much about the people that you're playing with. Like imagine every job interview there was like a sit and go you had to play before, like it was part of the interview. You had to do it for real money. Like I need this job, but I need to play. You have to, if you want this job here at Google, you have to play this sit and go with us. The CEO is going to be here. So is your manager, who's going to manage you, and so is like all the other people who are interviewing that made it this
Your
far.
competition. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And imagine you like lose a pot and you just blow up. Like, I don't know. That's a big part of like who are you, and can you handle adversity, and can you handle triumph as well, because some people are really great winners, and some people are really bad winners, and some people are really good losers, and some people want to flip the table over and they break their computer.
Yeah. No, that's for sure. It's definitely going to be a personality test, for sure. And you're right. Like that actually sounds. I'm. I honestly, I think, gosh, this has probably been like 15 years ago, but I feel like some like bigger companies did something similar. And it wasn't a sit and go or anything like that, or a Zoom call, but they basically played games with the people they were interviewing that had nothing to do with the job they were interviewing for, and they basically saw how they reacted to like good fortune and bad fortune, and saw what happened. Like whether they blamed someone else for their misfortune, or they accepted all the responsibility, or all the in between as well.
Yeah, I
It's
bet you learn a ton from like games of chance with like a slight skill edge or a big skill edge. I mean, yeah, I mean the job interview thing. I don't know if that's a real thing, but I think it should be.
yeah.
Like that.
I honestly think it was. It might be more pertinent for like maybe a day trader or something like that. Something that has a little more correlation to poker player when it comes to there's being variance and luck and skill as well, like all wrapped in the same ball.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's just like risk is hiding in plain sight in a lot of these jobs. It's just like I guess some of them. I don't know. The only ever job I ever had was a cashier at Walmart for a summer. So I don't know for sure, but I feel like some of these jobs you're making decisions where, like, there's a reason they pay you 100K a year. You're making decisions that net the company, at least a multiple of your salary typically. and some of the decisions you make are gonna like screw that up. So having a risk reward mentality, I think maybe not all jobs, but a lot of like advertising jobs, a lot of like trading jobs, definitely. But like some of the jobs you don't think about, I think will have those implications where customer service is like a big part of it, but also just like remaining calm in the face of danger type of thing. Like even
Yeah,
in
for
the
sure.
I would say the military, except for they've got that down to a T on just like it seems like beating you into submission and making sure you just do what the upper people say. So maybe not the
Yeah.
military, but some other jobs.
Well, I mean, I mean, I've only had one professional job as an engineer, but I worked for the government, the military actually, and they certainly didn't ask me anything about engineering. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the questions were more about personality and interaction. Of, I think they like. I would say they have it figured out, but they were more after personality than they were intellect. I would say.
So compliance.
Uh, yeah. Oh, maybe not compliance, but like being able to take a direction and follow it through. Not getting upset if
Wait
something
a
doesn't go
second.
your way.
So taking a direction and following it through, but not compliance.
Eh,
Listen,
well,
just do what I say. This isn't about compliance though, but follow it all the way through. Anyway, there's a reason
I
I
mean,
don't work for the government anymore.
there is a chance. Yeah, yeah. Plus, I had big hippie hair and a tongue ring when I worked for the government too. So,
Oh yeah, nice.
eh, I was very attractive. Used to be.
Oh, you know what? You look good in my book, buddy.
Thanks. As long as you're standing next to me.
That's right. I need a you got to stand by me, stand by me. All right. I also want. This is another branch I wanted to go down. Have you heard of the website pokerstake.com?
I have. I That one I have heard of. Yes.
Okay, I just found out about this website um, about a week and a half ago, and so yeah, about 10 days ago, and about 9 days ago, I wanted to do a pod with you about it because I I put 2,000 on to this website. I don't know who runs it. I think it's Josh Aria is somehow involved because I think that's the tweet thread that I looked at where I went down. He's like, I'm posting some of my action on Poker Stake, and the last thing I remember about a poker staking website is I think Stake Kings is that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went on
Or I think so.
there. I went on there and I can't remember if it was that one or Timex's old website. What was his? Poker.
I don't remember the
Um,
name of that one, but like that was the one that was most prevalent for quite a few years.
okay, and that one wasn't open to Americans. Stake Kings. I can't remember if it's
Correct.
open to Americans or not. Um, but Poker Stake, it is because they let me put money on with PayPal,
Oh,
and I went on there and I said, okay, who's offering stakes because I want to gamble, and I saw there was like a decent amount of people on there, and I actually think long term maybe I probably am not good at deciding who to put into tournaments, but but at the moment right now there are some people who have some sort of financial incentive to make this website successful. So I put $2,000 on. I saw a lot of like no markup. I saw the highest markup I saw was 1.2 or 1.25. And in the world of
oh wow.
like poker, in the world of poker
Yeah,
staking,
that's big.
yeah, most people are. I mean, maybe not in the really big tournaments, but in like the World Series of Poker, they're charging like 1.5 or 1.4,
Sure.
1.3. And for those that don't know, that's just you have to invest. If you want to buy $1,000 worth of someone, you have to invest 1,400 at 1.4, and then when they cash, you get $1,000 worth of their action. So if it's the main event and it's 10K buy-in, and you're buying 10% of them, you have to invest 1,400 to get that 10%. at a 1.4 markup. But on here, there was most of them were even money, no markup. Some this live shits lady, she
Yeah,
was
she's incredibly nice, by the way. Yeah.
I don't know if she has a piece of this company, but she was selling at 0.95. I think just not all of her action, obviously, but some to just try to get people to be on here and get the money flying around, get people investing. So anyway, I put 2K on, and let's see, I spent it all. I
Who did you get
fired
and for what tournaments?
I fired off. So my plan was I was going to see what I could do with 2K, but I was going to have some bankroll management. So I was going to not like my normal poker when it matters, but but here in an experiment, I'm going to call it the pokerstake.com experiment. I was going to have bankroll management, and I put 2K on, and I said, okay, I'm not spending more than 100 on anyone.
All
So
right.
I look through the list. Uh, first person I bought a piece of was Josh Aryeh because that's what got me to the site. He was selling at 1.05 markup to the 100K Super High Roller Bowl Pot Limit Omaha, and he seems like he's good at PLO since I feel like that's what
He
all
is.
his bracelets are in. So I was like, all right, you got me for 100, or I think I bought 0.09% for $94.98.
All right.
I bought the highest markup I paid was 1.17, and that was on David ODB Baker. Shout out David Baker.
Yeah.
In
Love
the
ODB.
horse tournament starting on October 5th. So I've got 0.8% of him for $95. I also bought his second bullet in case he busts at 1.05 markup for $90. So I guess technically for that one I'm in for 180, but I don't know. I think that's all right. I
So,
bought
like, do you just get your money back if he doesn't use the second bullet? Obviously, that it's a thought through company, and it just like
yeah, so far
very
I've had a couple where they didn't play and I got my money back. I bought a piece
nice.
of someone that didn't play the 25K. I just had like $75 left and I threw it into them and I got my money back. Let's see. I'm going to go to the finished ones and see what I got cuz I put $100 into a bunch of Jonathan Littles because he was charging no markup and he was playing 10Ks. And he has a coaching website, so I figured, meh,
Yeah,
it could
I
happen.
love.
and
I do like me. I like me some Jonathan Little as well. By the way, but
and
yeah.
I don't know if he wants us exposed, but he is one of our 17 newsletter subscribers.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I saw his email address and I was like, oh, I actually know this person's email address and I know that's Jonathan Little. So I said, okay. And I actually don't know him in real life, but he he subscribes to our newsletter. So shout out to Jonathan Little and pokercoaching.com. Free advertising for you. Uh,
Yeah, there you go.
so I think I spent like 400 or 500, maybe more on Jay Little. Um, and he has crushed for us. I bought it's
Ooh,
the tournaments that they have on there is the Aria Poker Masters right now. Um, I bought a piece of Poker Masters number 2 because number 1 was already sold out. Sadly, I just bought 100 of like everything. So I bought him 5 of them for $100 a pop, and he ended up coming second in one of them to our good buddy
Chino Ream.
Chino, yeah,
Oh,
Chino Ream,
love Chino.
yeah, and my 100 turned into $1,547.
Oh
Holla,
my gosh.
15.4x return. I bought a piece of Aram Zobian. I actually paid
Hmm.
1.1 for him because I don't know, his hand and mob looked good. I have never heard of the guy, but he he did good in the very first one, and I thought I had a piece of that one, but then I turned out it was number 2, not number 1.
So you went dust on him, right?
Well, I went dust on him in the first one. Let me see if I had another one. Um, yeah, I think I only bought that one because I found so many
Okay.
people who were 1.05 or less. I had a piece of Justin Saliba in number 7, the 25K. I think he cashed that. Either I had
I think
number
you did.
7 and number 8. So between the two of those, I feel like I'm going to get my money back on that, but it's not official on here yet. For some reason, the website hasn't updated it yet.
So
Uh,
so for non-future tournaments, how are you doing so far?
uh, on non-future ones. So my bankroll
Yeah,
on
yeah.
here, I put 2K in. It says $1,635.51 is my bankroll, and I still have one, two, three,
Oh
four,
wow.
five, six, seven, 800 in play. And I think I have at least one like unaccounted for cash that's going to come in. So I'm definitely going to make money. I mean, obviously, one person comes second place for 15x the buy-in.
Sure.
I probably should make money, but no, the website is really like smooth. I thought it would be a fun experiment, and it has been. You know, I had, other than Chino and like liking him, I've had no reason to sweat these tournaments, but it's gotten me to it's gotten me to watch, you know, a lot of these. Uh, I got a piece of, so on my remaining pieces. So today's the 24th. I still have uh one. Wait, what do I have here? I have Justin Saliba at 1.03 markup in the 50K. Darren Elias on his first and second bullet at 1. Well, I guess one is 1.04. The first bullet. The second is 1.02. And then I have Alex Foxen in the Super High Roller Bowl for 1.05. And the way he used those time banks, I feel like, yeah, money well spent. He's definitely getting value for us there.
so
And then I have a
so as
small
a
piece of
newbie,
Canada Ground.
okay. So as a newbie, like I've heard of the site, but like I don't know much about it. Like how does a professional put themselves out there, and how does someone like you buy a piece of them? Is it just as easy, like you said, that like as a recreational player, you can just make an account, put on money, and then just buy?
I actually have no idea on the selling part because all I've done is put on money and buy. I assume it's fairly easy when I when I go on the money part of it. So if I click, the depositing and buying part was super easy, and as far as I can tell, I actually did this as an experiment to see like how it works. And because I'm lazy, I'm not doing that good at it because I put the money on and I bought these pieces. And as far as I can tell, there's no VIG to the buyer, but I don't know if that's true or not. There might be some sort of VIG if you cash out. I haven't tried to do that. Um, but as if you, when I go on let's see, I'm going to click deposit or not deposit. I'm going to try to get to my cashier here. So if I go to withdrawal, um, you can click withdrawal and you can withdraw in Bitcoin apparently, which is cool.
Oh, that is nice.
Uh, and then my transaction history is just what I put in and my pieces I bought. You can deposit with PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin. I did it with PayPal and it didn't charge me anything. I assume with credit card there might be a fee, but I have no idea. Um, I know when I was doing it on my phone, it was like every option was like, do this or ask Josh. Like it was like there was an option on there specifically. Like I assume it's a text message basically pushes out directly to Josh Aria, and he's like, oh, you're trying to do this? Okay, yeah. So for how good the software looks, I assume there's a lot of back end stuff that still needs to happen, but they have like a lot of poker stories, like who cashed in what. I feel like they're trying to be like the tournament. I don't know about sports book, but there's like a bunch of this guy cashed in this. There's like player of the year race going on the side. There's all these
Oh,
staking now available, all time winnings of these players. And then if you go a little bit further down, there's like all these YouTube videos of like clips from final tables and stuff. So it's really well designed site. Shout out to whoever designed their website. They did a really good job. And however many people they have working in the background, it's a good looking site. and I've had a lot of fun so far, just dicking around on here and putting this 2000 to work. I mean, goes without saying, since I banked with Jonathan Little, second place in that Poker Masters.
Almost first, but Chino's a wrecking
Almost
ball.
first, but as it turns out, you don't four bet all in with the 7-8 suited against queens. So Chino saw that one coming and he snapped him off.
I'm sure the people that sell here probably have to get verified and make sure they're gonna, whatever they have to do, which is another cool thing. Whether it's RA or the site or whatever the network they have, that's fantastic. They have all these like super big names and like high rollers able to like sell, even if it's 5%, 2% of like themselves for these things. But I'm sure a lot of them probably think that they might be better suited to take their money themselves. It's nice to give some sweat to the public, like a little fantasy football for poker.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been really fun so far, just sweating along, and I know these sites can be really successful. I I'm not sure if you remember, but years ago I tried to launch buy a piece of someone like on day 2 of a tournament and later. Do you remember that?
I do. I actually think that was a terrific idea. I really do.
Yeah, I wish I had the motivation to go through with it, because I'm pretty much a lazy entrepreneur. I have a lot of good ideas. I half execute on a lot of them, and this one was one of my better ones. I think it was you make day 2 or later of a tournament. There's a small window there where you have a lot of equity, but you may not have any way to cash in on it. And most people on day 2 chip leader, they're not going to win the tournament, but
Right.
their stack might be worth whatever it's worth, a couple 100,000 or 20,000 for a 1K tournament, something like that. And yeah, the idea was to be able to sell some of your equity to someone after you've started. And yeah, I think it's a good idea still. The trouble is just like there's a party that needs to kind of be in there enforcing it. I feel like the casino needs to, if there's either a trust factor, like an eBay style reputation score, or like a casino needs to like put a check mark next to your site and be like, yeah, uh,
Yeah.
you've officially, you're a sell your stack player. That was the name of the site, sellyourstack.com.
Yeah.
And you need to be verified by whoever, Venetian, WSOP, to like, this company has your entire winnings, or like this percentage of your winnings. Yeah, there was a couple moving parts that I hadn't considered that like were an obstacle, but I do think that it'll be a thing in the future. And it turns out there is like a whole market of people buying these pieces on final tables and day 2s. It's just not public, and that probably hurts the people selling, because if it was public, the prices would be more competitive, yada yada yada.
Yeah, for sure. And like you could even take it like slightly askew from that and just kind of make it like a stock market thing where you're just selling uh, a certain person's stack at a certain price and people can bid it up and down. So they can basically like think he's not worth this much, and you can just be like willing to book action. Kind of like commerce, like you're sitting down in a pie gow table or like a blackjack table. You're like being the bank. You're still paying like the vig to the house, but like you're assuming that people aren't as good as what you rate the player as. So if someone's
Yeah.
stack is worth 10,000, yeah, maybe you're just like, no, this guy is garbage, or he has a tough starting table the next day, or whatever it is. You can just be like, I'll book action up to 10% of people, and people can just buy that like as it's worth.
Yeah, that feels
Outside
like
that,
that feels good. That feels a little tougher though, because then you have like double sided liability, right? You have people betting against people, and they're not even in the tournament. Like I could say, Justin's at that final table. There's no shot he's gonna win. Like I'll book 1,000. There's 8 players left, and like first place is 8x 8x eighth place, and I'm just like, nah, he's not gonna get it. And then all of a sudden I have to I don't know, all of a sudden you become like a sports book. I just like the idea of offering a marketplace to people who wanted to cash in on their big stack that they've never had before, final 40 people in the main event. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just because I always go deep in tournaments and never win. But when you could be 40, you could be 50 people left in the main event, and you're going to get 150K if you bust, but your stack is probably worth 500,000, something like that, and you could be like, oh, listen, I'm going to sell half myself for 250, and now I can play my best poker because I have 250 in the bank. You don't get 250 until there's 3 tables left, and the person might, you can build your brand, you can sell to people and be like, hey, listen, it's me, yada yada yada, I'm trying to sell a piece of myself. And yeah, it's a small window to sell in, but it seems like sites are starting to real time clip onto that, because GG Poker has, like, you can
Yeah,
sell pieces of yourself within the software now, which is cool. And that's obviously takes out all the risk because the software is guaranteeing it.
right.
um
Especially, yeah,
yeah, so if you could do that in the live arena, which I think you can. I think all it takes is like a little bit of elbow grease and the right networking. And you could, if you know the right guy at the World Series of Poker, you could just be like, hey, listen, we're a real company, look at our people that are backing us. um Here's a real contract, or you can write the contract. I bought a piece, Party Poker started doing this with backers. You could buy a piece of someone in a real tournament, and in a live tournament, and they would enforce it on the payout. They would say, okay, well, he has this bunch of you sign this document, you get this much, they get this much, and it goes right into your Party Poker account or whatever. I don't know. I never did it, but I heard about it when we both went to PCA like 4 or 5 years ago.
yeah. I think it's a fantastic idea. The problem is, like, it's easier if, like, the gap between whatever day one or day two, there's like a day in between where people have time to think about what their stack's worth. But like when you're playing till like 1 o'clock in the morning and you're starting up at noon the next day, it's a little tough for people to kind of like figure out what their actual like equity's worth and like
Yeah.
figure out how much they want to sell and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
I mean,
agree with
not to
that.
say that you can't do that, because like you can't sleep. You wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., and you're like, okay, I know I have a big stack, but like this money is really important to me. Let me see if I can get 15% online so it gets sold.
Yeah, very,
I
very,
definitely think there's a
very,
market for it.
very hard to do it in real time. 100%. Yeah, it's there's a reason that the pre tournament market is like kind of normalized. Yeah, I mean, I
Right.
didn't. If you did it online, how would you do it on the 5 minute breaks? Like, you
Yeah,
you would
exactly.
have to, you would need to 100% have the I don't know, equity of your stack be like automated. Like, everyone knows this is how many chips I have. If you're an average player, this is what it's worth, and you can charge, I don't know, a markup based on that. Maybe. But yeah,
No, for sure. Yeah. If it's
it's a hard.
verified by the casino, then it could be super simple. Like when you sign up for the tournament, you could just have an option box like in your registration form. It's like, if you happen to make it to day two, day three, day four, whatever it is, would you like to sell? And if so, how much? And at what markup? And you could just literally just like fill it out. And when you get to there, it could just be automated and it's just online already. And like your stacks on there, how much you want to sell it for, and it's just absolutely automated every single time.
Yeah.
I think if you have the casino or the whatever the online or the casino like backing it or verifying it, I think it would be very very simple and very easily to automate.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think you're right. Anyways, good luck to Josh Aria in these tournaments with your
Yeah, no kidding. So what like the PLO stuff at the Poker Go Studios is coming up soon, right?
very soon. Yeah. Yeah, the
I'm
next.
fairly certain. Yeah, the Poker Masters, I believe their crowning event is tomorrow. It's a 50K, and then I think there might be a couple day break, and then they're doing either the mixed game series or the PLO. I think the PLO series is right after that, and then they have a mixed game series. So I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people between the two, like selling pieces on there.
Yeah, over the next 4 or 5 days, it basically ends for a week. Uh there's the let's see, the Poker Masters number 10 is tomorrow. That's the last one that I have action
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
and then that's
And
it.
we have you have Saliba. You said.
Let's see. I have Saliba for $100, which is 0.2% with his markup. I have Darren
Okay.
Elias,
That's a good one.
and that's it. I have those two guys, and then I have Alex Foxen in the Super High Roller Bowl at 105. I have $95 worth, which is 0.03%, and I have Daniel
Mm.
Negreanu at no markup for $90, which is 0.03% also. I don't know. I bought 0.03 of both of them, and then I paid $5 more for Foxen because of his build, and he'll beat me up if I don't pay a little bit of markup. and then and then after that, there's a horse tournament on the 5th of October, and then Josh Arier's thing, the culminating event that I bought for, is on the 17th of October. So not for a while. But it's been fun so far. I'm gonna probably just like dick around and buy some more pieces until this 2000 is gone,
Yeah, sounds about right.
or becomes $1 million.
Well, not trying to throw my hat in the ring or anything like that, especially since I know I'm going out of town for a couple of weeks. But I should definitely look into like seeing if I can get myself on there, even if I'm only selling 5 or 10% of myself for whatever tournaments. I would do it at face value. I'm not trying to get any value from any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I assume anyone would buy a piece of me, but
Well, I've got
I don't know.
1700 on here. I could definitely throw a piece in.
I just think it'd be fun to kind of be part of the process because I do think it's a good idea. It's a cool idea. I hope it grows.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Josh personally, maybe you do, but from what I know of his public persona, I like him the best of people who are trying to do this type of thing, the Stake Kings people. I don't really know who they are, I guess. I shouldn't really say, but but it
Yeah.
feels more corporate, compared to this.
Yeah, I mean, there's at least in my experience, and you've probably faced the same thing, but like over the course of time where you've been a professional gambler, you can tell who's a gambler and who's a poker player. I don't know if that's a weird thing to say, but do you understand the difference between like someone that they want to they want to be in action all the time. They want to have some kind of sweat all the time. They want to be a gambler. Josh Airy is that kind of guy. And then there's certain people that got into poker because they see dollar signs at the end of it. They got into
Dude,
poker because it's a math equation and nothing else.
dude, I'm laughing because go on Josh Arya's Twitter when you have a second, like 4 days ago,
Okay.
September 20th. The day before, there's like a barstool poker, or sorry, not poker, barstool golf match play thing going on. Did you see this on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter?
I
So
probably not. Yeah.
so so there's it's match play, and there's this guy. I don't even play golf, but I know that you do, so you'll probably get a kick out of this. There's this guy, they're playing a scramble, okay? And the first guy on the team putts, right? And the putt lands very close to the hole. It's a gimme on the second one, right? So
Right.
he puts. It's right close to the hole. The guy just walks up and taps it in real quick or whatever. And the other team says, "Yo, you tap that in, so now you have a 5 and not a 4." Because the other guy was about to shoot like a long one. Basically, he was going to do
Mm-hmm.
the same putt as the other guy
Right.
from that distance. But the other putt was a gimme, and the guy just tapped it in just to tap it in. The other guy was very firm, like this is the rule, this is the putt. You took a 5 by tapping that in, is what he said. You took the pressure off your partner. And then Josh Aryeh on Twitter, to his credit, he said he basically retweeted the video and said, anyone in the comments that says this is technically a 5, please lose my number. We're never golfing, never gambling, never anything.
That's correct.
And
Yeah.
I thought it was so just like perfect for professional gamblers, and just like the way that you have to act to like be accepted in this world of professional gambling. And like I said, I don't play any golf. I don't gamble on golf, but it's the exact same in anything gambling wise.
100%. Like we there's multiple reasons to get into poker and multiple reasons to get into gambling, clearly. But like to sustain like a gambling career, you have to be a true gambler at heart. If you don't give action, no one should give you action at all. And the people that are always the penny pinchers of the world, and I know you and I know a handful.
Yeah.
Like these are the people that are looking for a reason to get out of gambling. They want to make their money and they want to get out and they want to do something else.
Dude, don't
The gamblers of this world.
I was just
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. I was just gonna say we both know two people without naming names. Tell the golfing story about a friendship ruined on the rule on the golf course for like $500.
Well, I mean, it's so I wasn't directly involved, and like I'll leave the people's names out of it or whatever. But like there was an instance where there was a local rule in place, and one person knew the rule inside and out because they confirmed it maybe a week before, and the other person who did not know the local rule, but they knew the kind of overshadowing rule, the PGA rule, and he knew he was right as well. So they made a bet, and I won't go into details what the bet was because that would give away who the people are. But like, so they decided that they would contact the clubhouse, and whatever they said stood. Which one person knew 100% he was going to win every single time because he had checked up on that rule literally a week before, and the other person was going by the letter of the law as far as the PGA rule. And they both were right technically, and it should have been a wash bet. It should have just been like, hey, we're both friends. We're not trying to fuck each other. It's not a big deal. Let's just shake hands and like, realize it's a dumb bet.
Yeah.
But instead, it got I wouldn't say dirty because like, nothing violent was said or anything like that. But like, you view each other differently after you're value hunting. You're only running it twice if you're out of position. I mean, it's
wait, explain that. What does that mean? Only running it twice if you're out of position.
All right. So in poker, sometimes you have the ability to run it 2 times. So if you get it all in ace, king versus queens, you run it twice. You kind of realize your value a little bit easier. Like you're basically a coin flip. Most of the time, you're just going to get half the pot. But sometimes if there's an odd chip in the pot, say we're playing 5-10 and there's an extra $5 in the pot, the extra chip is going to go to the person that's out of position. So if you're out of position,
that's the rule by default. Okay.
Yeah. By default, you have a super, super, super tiny bit of equity to run it twice because if there's an extra chip, you get it. So certain people, a person that I know, would only run it twice if he was out of position because that meant that he had, I can't stress this enough, about 80 cents more equity than the other person. I mean, it's incredibly tiny.
Right, like a 10% of a small blind, basically. Something like that.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And if he was in position, he only wanted to run it once because that chip's in the middle of the pot regardless. So he has the option to that $5 chip or that $2 chip or whatever it is. And again, this is the big difference between gamblers like Josh Arieh, by the way, and people that are in poker clearly just to make money and nothing else.
Yeah.
And they could care less about perpetuating the game. They could care less about having fun at the table. All they want to do is suck as much money out of the game as possible and leave it as quickly as they see a better opportunity.
Okay, so those types of people are the types of people that find out the rule ahead of time, talk to the clubhouse manager, and they're like, "Hey, what's up? Listen, I just want to know what happens, with this ball when there's a twig in front of it or whatever the fuck happens in golf. I don't know. If this guy's not wearing plaid pants and this gopher comes up over here and then this guy over here pops out with an air horn, who gets the extra chip? Golf manager guy.
Exactly.
Okay, exactly.
He's the kind of guy that's definitely not going to wear like a Leonard Fournette jersey at a table to get the.
Dude, he'll wear 2 to get the extra 100 though.
That's true. Actually.
He'll wear all the jerseys, so no one can wear a jersey, and he has all the jerseys on.
But to slightly kind of bring it back to our game a little bit, like the opposite, the gamblers are the kind of people we want in our game, and I can't stress this enough. Of like, there's such a very easy distinction between these two types of players, and the longer in the business of gamblers, the more these guys have reputations. And again, won't name any names or anything like that, clearly, but like everyone that's been in gambling for more than 5 years knows who all these people are. And it's kind of nice when you just get around gamblers and they don't care if they have the worst of it, because they also know on the opposite side, when you're against another gambler, they're going to give you the best of it sometimes too.
That's right.
Because it's just gambling, and that's what the point is. Like, if I beat you 3 times in a row on the golf course, guess what? I'm probably going to give you an extra shot and a half, 2 shots the next time we play,
Right.
because I won. Like, it's about gambling and trying to make it fun and fair. It's not about trying to squeeze every penny out of every single person.
That's right. Yeah, I love that, and that's why I love that tweet. The lose my number tweet. It's just so good, and
Yeah,
that's why I
it's
mean.
perfect.
And by the way, we've gotten 0 like don't know Josh Aryeh, haven't reached out to him about his site. I don't even know if this is his site, but I want to support it, and that's why I'm happy to put money on and just fucking DJing on there, because I don't know, it's just fun, and I hope he wins everything that I buy a piece of him in for my $90.
Damn right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, like, oh man, like betting with gamblers, like true gamblers, are literally fantastic, and like having a piece of them, because like gamblers want to win just as much as anyone else. Like, it's not like no one tanks, no one hedges their bets or anything like that. If you're a true gambler, you go after it, and having a piece of someone that is a real gambler is fun, because they want to win more than you could possibly imagine.
Hey, so right after that part of the pod, we lost the recording. We're new at this, so you may have noticed on YouTube that Justin's video cut out a few minutes ago, and this is the part where we lost all the audio. So there was only a little bit left after that. Nothing too exciting. And if you guys want to help us out, it really helps us if you follow, subscribe, retweet, anything at Table 1 Vegas on all the social platforms. Really, really helps us out. So yeah, follow us on Table 1 Vegas, wherever you get your social. That's the pod.
Me and my buddy, we making all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy, we working hard for this money.